Welcome to the OGs. I am your host, Ryan Sparks. I've got Brian Maxberry with me as always tonight, but on today's show, this afternoon show, depending on when you're watching the show, we're going to talk about what we're playing, gaming news, and updates that are hot right now, and the must-play games of 2022. What's up, Brian? How's it going, man?
It's going, man. Having a wonderful day. How about yourself?
It's been busy.
That's a good thing, right?
Busy. So yeah, I mean, work was busy today. Gaming life is busy right now. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing a ton. What about you? What have you been playing?
Been playing, of course, TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Released last week. It is amazing. It's on everything. Also on Game Pass for Xbox and PC if you have Game Pass. It is just a fantastic game. It reminds me of like back in the day, being a kid, going to the arcade, have a handful of quarters, and just going at it. So definitely spending a lot of time with that. Thanks to my brother and his wife Elise, they got me a Steam gift card for Father's Day. Shout out to y'all.
Nice.
So I picked up Rogue Legacy 2, which is currently in early access on PC. Wonderful game. Fantastic. But only played 30 or 40 minutes of it, so not enough to really go into detail.
How similar is it to the first one?
To me, from what I've played, it seems pretty similar. But what's happening in between your deaths is you have like a hub world that you can kind of invest your coins into. And then that allows you to buff whatever character you're going to send back out into the castle. And basically helping out each run, basically. So each death doesn't feel like a waste because you're slowly chipping away at making nice updates or enhancements to that hub world that ultimately enhances your not quite ancestors, I guess your relatives. I'm not sure what the proper term is for that.
Okay.
But the artwork, they've completely overhauled it. It looks great, runs great. It's
scrolling, right?
Yes, side scrolling. So like if you've ever played like a Metroid or a Castlevania type of a game, plays a lot like that. It has an overall world map. I'm sorry, not overall map, but it has a map of the castle. It seems like it's procedurally generated. Like a couple of my runs, none of them feel the same. Like the area has a similar theme, but the rooms aren't the exact same. And then, if you've never been in that room, you won't see it until you go through it. And then the further you go, you'll find teleports to kind of backtrack. And overall, it's really neat. Honestly, wish it was on a handheld. Like it feels like it should be on a Switch. I don't have a Steam Deck, but if I did, I'm pretty sure it would run on a Steam Deck. But yeah, it's a great game to kind of pick up and play. And, you can dedicate a couple minutes. If you got the time, dedicate hours, and you're going to enjoy it. Those are the two main games.
That game looks really, really cool. I mean, the first one was cool to me. So the second one, I mean, so did you ever play Castle Crashers?
Yes.
By chance?
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of that.
Yeah, like the art style.
Yeah, the art style is definitely a Castle Crashers-esque type thing. So you mentioned playing TMNT. Which is very similar in like the side scrolling aspect, obviously. But I was playing TMNT with the kids last night, and we were talking about Castle Crashers and how cool it was. Like,
yes,
I think this would be one that like a single player mode that they could play. That's similar. Are there lots of puzzles, or is it?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say lots. Yeah, I wouldn't say lots of puzzles, and like they're not like. So basically, you'll find a room, you'll see a chest, right? And then at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see like rules to that room. And in order to unlock the chest, you have to complete those rules. So like it'll be a room where you can't jump at all, but they're going to put you in front of things where it feels like jumping makes the most sense. So you kind of have to use some of your abilities, to kind of finagle the room itself. And then the platforming itself is really nice. Earlier in the video, the character you see him doing like this spin ability in the air, and there's like these blue lanterns, like these crystals. When you hit those, it launches you a little bit higher. So you kind of have to use like your platforming skills and abilities to hit certain or to reach certain spaces. And if you can't pull it off, you can't get there. So when it comes to that stuff, it's a little challenging, but none of it just like completely frustrated me at all. So it seems like the further along you go, they're gonna throw that stuff at you. But yeah, it's definitely something little ones could get into. Definitely recommend it right now. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's always something for me. Like when I'm looking at new games, is it something that my kids can play on their own and they won't bug the crap out of me to, hey, can you get me through this level? Like, oh, come on. That's one thing that when the kids played the original Sonic games for the first time, when they would get stuck, they're like, can you help me? And it's like, I haven't played this in so long. Like I don't know that I can beat this level anymore, honestly. But yeah, I go through that with the kids quite a bit. So anything else that you're playing? Speaking of playing with kids, you've been playing some Apex, right?
Yeah, don't judge me. My son is not.
He's obsessed,
He's
right?
not 17, should not be playing this, but we play Apex together. Right. But we do arenas. He loves shooters. Like if it's not Apex, it's Fortnite. Like he's all about competitive shooting. And he's really good at it. So we've been doing arenas where I believe it's 3v3. You're dropped into a map, you earn currency in between rounds, kind of like Counter-Strike or Valorant. And so obviously the better you do, the better the weapons, or you can also upgrade the weapons. But it all comes down to you cooperating with your teammates and knowing the maps. So, we spend a little bit of time messing around with that, and it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend that too.
Yeah, I've tried to play that game a couple times, but every time that I reinstall it, it makes you play the tutorial.
Right.
And I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm not doing this again.
It's good though, because it's like a refresher. Because it feels like something you've played before, but it does have its own kind of mechanics, I guess. That's particular to that game. So if you just run around like you're playing Call of Duty, there's your enemies or your opponents are gonna kind of take advantage of that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, what about you? What are you playing?
Oh wow. Pac-Man again, Pac-Man Museum, which isn't even on my list again on the in the show notes. I guess I should type that in so people will know I'm playing it as always. I don't know that I'll ever get tired of Pac-Man. We're
it's a classic.
I mean, what, 35 years since it's the original release, and I'm still playing playing it on a decent amount of time. I have been playing a lot of the Mario Strikers Battle League on the Switch. I really need to just start playing people online to see if I'm as good as I think I am. I've streamed it actually. My first impressions, streamed it on my channel when I first opened it up and got it in, and I was not playing very well. Now I have gotten to the point where I can pass the ball all the way down the field, like through the air. It never touches the ground.
Wow!
And I can score. Like, so
nice.
Like, it's just like boom, 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 and then take a shot. I don't know if it's because the AI isn't as good as they should be, or if I'm really getting to the point where I'm pretty good in the controls. I scored a goal earlier today when I played, and I actually posted it on Twitter because I was just like, I can't believe I scored this. It's a lot of fun. It's over the top soccer, just crazy. It can get frustrating. I could see where people wouldn't like it. If you're a soccer purist, it's not your game, right? Like, it's an arcadey, like, attack. There's no fouls.
Right.
You literally can hit people into the electric wall, like the electric fence, ish and fry them. It's pretty fun. We played some Fortnite. I think I crossed into double-digit levels over the course of this past week.
Nice.
Obviously, when we played together the other night, we got that dub in the one round. And I've gotten 2 or 3 more with my youngest since then.
That's awesome, man.
We played the other night. It's just fun. Like the no build mode and I get along really well, but if you start building again, I'm in trouble. I played a couple rounds with some friends on PlayStation the other night where we played the build mode, and I just got owned constantly.
Dang. Yeah, it's tough. Like that building, man. Like
I don't know how they do it the way they do it, and they're like, "Oh, just stay behind us, you'll be fine." And it's like that's no fun for me. Like I want to pick people off.
Yep.
I also have been playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which we will talk more about later in the show. But WWE 2K22 has been this surprise sneak up hit for me this year. I don't want to say it's a must play for every gamer out there. I think it's got a very niche audience, right? Like, if you grew up watching WWE and you loved it when you were younger, you're going to find things about this game that you like. The creator wrestlers that people have created in the community of people that are creating these creator wrestlers online are just ridiculous how good they are. If you're a current WWE fan, there's obviously guys you know and you'll like. And when I say guys, I also mean girls. There's plenty of female wrestlers in the game and a lot of creator wrestlers with females. There's just like characters that you know and love if you're a current fan. The fact that there's so many wrestlers from AEW that people have created in this game, and you can literally download the AEW arena. Like,
I just can't wait for that new game.
Yeah, I can't either. That game is being made by the same people that made WCW versus NWO World Tour.
Are you serious?
Bro, it's the same development team that made all those old N64 wrestling games that everybody grew up on.
So yeah, like me personally, I grew up playing the wrestling games because me and my brother, we did grow up wrestling kids.
Yeah,
and unfortunately did grow out of it, but I can appreciate a good wrestling game. And
thanks to your recommendation, you have kids, so you gotta force them to start watching it.
I tried it. I tried it right before we had Charlie. We actually went to Raw that year, and Ronda Rousey was there. We got to meet Braun Strowman.
Oh, that's cool.
I heard he's not even with.
Nope, he's no longer with WWE. He's at Impact now.
Yeah, he's huge though. Like we came up to this man's belly button. It was kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like I love wrestling. I wish I watched it still to this day because it's just so much fun and entertaining. It's a nice escape from all the madness that we're going through these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, hearing that you're really getting into this, it's wonderful to hear.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's just some of the creator wrestlers and the ideas behind creating a story, like in doing your own WWE universe thing is really fun to me.
Yeah, I think Kind of Funny does that, right?
Yeah, they have where they've created their own themselves.
Yeah, like their own network or whatever. And I think Greg and Snowbike Mike are the announcers. And,
I think that whole thing's really fun.
I agree.
I think it's going to be interesting when I create myself. I've done it in the past, but I'm definitely going to do it with this one where I'm just going to create myself and see kind of how it pans out.
Yeah, I'll have to send you some pictures of the guy. Well, I created myself when I bought the game.
Did you?
And it doesn't look that great just because like my skin tone is hard to match in game. So you could see where my face meets like the character model is like a.
Oh, did you do a picture? Like upload a picture?
Yeah, dude. Like I scanned my face and everything. So I'll make sure to send that to you so you can see it. It's really funny.
I think I'm gonna try to do it without uploading my picture.
Oh, you're just gonna use the in-game.
See if I can use the in-game builder to make it look as much like me as possible.
My fingers are crossed for you. I
I'll
know
be
for a
interested
fact you
to
can
see
do
if
it.
I can do it.
Yeah, I know you can. It's just gonna take some time.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna take way too much time. But this weekend I have a little bit of a break, so.
Hey, wonderful to hear.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a bunch of gaming and hopefully get the rest of this game room finished because we still have we still have the one arcade to build that's not done, and some lights to put up and some other things. And
Nice.
maybe I'll actually get it to where I can stop tinkering with it for a while. I doubt that'll happen, but it always seems to be another thing, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to play, and I just want to talk about it real quickly. I wanted to play Neon White.
I keep hearing nothing but good things about this game.
And it's on sale right now on Steam. I haven't really I'm not an anime guy. We've talked about this off air, like, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not a big anime guy. This is set up kind of like an anime. It's got some anime elements to it. Almost all of the reviews are good.
Yeah.
It's a first-person shooter where you basically give up your weapons to create new things.
And it's cards, right? Like the weapons are actual cards or something?
Yeah.
Or is that just how
some
they look?
weird. No, I think there are some cards. It looks really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up the video here so people that are watching the show can kind of see.
Definitely.
If you're listening to the audio podcast, we appreciate you listening
Most definitely.
on audio, but you're definitely missing part of what the show has to offer when we put up these videos and stuff, so people can see some games and stuff that they normally wouldn't see.
Yeah.
But
I heard if you've played Ghost Runner before and enjoyed that, then you would get into this. Did you ever play Ghost Runner?
No.
It's first person.
No.
Like picture a first person platformer, but your character controls like Genji from Overwatch a little bit.
Only one of us can stay in heaven, and I've got a
it's an interesting concept because you're an assassin in heaven. It's kind of what the story is. So this is just the animated intro.
Definitely anime is that.
Yeah.
Anime AF.
Yeah.
Things for myself.
Right. But gameplay is kind of interesting. I watched somebody play it earlier today. I'm kind of interested. I'm really interested in seeing how it plays out. Because you can discard things, you can do all kinds of different things.
Discard your cards. Don't be afraid to use them. You can't take cards with you to the next level. Here's your handgun.
So it's got some different
which lets you
gameplay modes and ways to use those cards to do special things, right?
Discard it to use stomp. It's self-explanatory. And here we have the shotgun. Discard it to launch yourself like a fireball. Now let's put it together. I'll demonstrate a level for you.
So
this looks really neat.
I'm torn because I'm like, okay, it looks really, really cool, but I wonder how frustrated I would get with it.
Yeah,
because of the way that it's set up. But
friends, or if you prove yourself, you can compete on the global neon leaderboards.
I don't know, but there's all kinds of leaderboards as well, as they just mentioned in the video. But cool. Even the developer in the end of that video only got a silver rating over it, when playing through. So, but I mean, it's getting great reviews. It's just one of those things where right now it's 10% off, so it's like $22.49 or whatever. Yeah. So it might be worth picking up, but I don't know, man. Is that something you're gonna possibly jump onto?
I can't say right here, right now, today I'm gonna purchase it, but I'm definitely curious after looking at that video. Hey, maybe one day we can email Annapurna Interactive, and they'll just send us codes, and then we can really talk about our hands-on experiences.
This one day, maybe.
Exactly. But no, it does look really good. It's definitely something I don't want to miss out on. But yeah, I got a lot to play right now. So
that's been what we're playing and what we want to play, kind of. But we'll be right back here in about 10 seconds to dive right into the news. All right, Brian. New Fire Emblem.
Woo.
I feel like we are Nintendo stans here on the show.
I mean, they raised us, you know.
Yeah. So I haven't finished Three Houses.
Same here. Don't feel bad. It's a big game. There's also multiple playthroughs.
I literally sat there and went, wait, there's a new Fire Emblem? Like, didn't Three Houses just release like a year ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a while.
Like,
yeah.
And then I thought about it and I was like, oh, yeah, I was at my previous job, like in the middle of that stretch. And I'm like, I didn't even have a chance to play it. So, yeah, I need to definitely dig into that before jumping into Three Hopes. So now it's one of those things where it's like, how long do I play the old one before I jump into this new one? But it looks really, really good.
Now, I know this one is developed by Omega Force, so that means it's going to play like your Dynasty Warriors games, Hyrule Warriors, Legends, and all those types of games. So I'm pretty sure it still has a bunch of strategy wrapped around it, but it's not that tactical turn-based that Fire Emblem is typically known for. And I also believe the story isn't something that takes place after Three Houses, but it does take place in the same universe, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. But
and to be fair, I haven't played the Fire Emblem Warriors game all the way through either.
Gotcha. Yeah, same here. Like when it comes to the Warriors games, I missed out on those, unfortunately.
The only reason I actually still have that is because you are unable to trade it in at GameStop at any point.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's one of the games, like, you know how that was? Like, there'd always be like one or two games where they were just like, yeah, no, we're not taking that in trade.
Right.
And that's one of them. It was never available to trade in, which long term is fine because now I'll play it and maybe enjoy it prior to playing this one. But it looks really cool. And anybody who can get 900 or more hits in a row, like, shut up. Like, yeah.
Ultimate juggler.
Yeah. That one, 1,100 hits before the end of that video. Like, man. And they stopped and they're like, yeah, we're good.
It looks like IGN gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it's interesting, right? Because it's a Warriors game. So you're like, but the fact that it's an 8 out of 10 is pretty awesome. I am really interested to see how Amiibo work with them because I have all the Fire Emblem Amiibo figures.
Nice.
So I'll have to keep y'all posted once I finally get there, and dive into that. What other news did you have? I know you had a bunch of stuff that you had come across this week.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I missed out on it, and it's more Nintendo news. But there was a Nintendo Direct today. I know all gamers are looking forward to another Direct, but this one was just focused on Xenoblade Chronicles 3. When I was younger, I used to play JRPGs all the time. I just don't have the time like I used to, unfortunately. This one does look really good, though. I know it'll be here July 29th. So if you're into action JRPGs, this is right up your alley, especially if you've played the first two. So look out for that. Definitely watch the Direct. It seemed like they really went into great detail about the game itself, like story, gameplay mechanics, and what to expect. So definitely look out for that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good video in that Direct too. I mean, they put some stuff out there for people to check out. Here we go. It was doing something funky with the color there, but I mean, it almost looks like a Monster Hunter game to me to a certain extent.
Yeah, just a little bit slower.
Yeah, and some of the environments, I'll go ahead and say it. We talked about it pre-show. They look like Breath of the Wild. Like, but I think you're limited to what you can do on the Switch, right? I mean, there's definitely some limitations there graphically. Some of these games I just wish at this point, like, give us a Switch Pro already. You know, man. Like, I want something in 4K. I don't care if it's not in 4K when I'm playing in handheld mode. Right. I want to be able to put it in my Fixture S Gaming 3 when I have another one that I have to have, because I'll do it. Everybody knows I'm going to buy it. The guys at Fixture Gaming know I'm going to buy it.
Man,
If there's
after
another,
touching the S2, I'm with you. I'm sold.
I know that if there's another handheld or a different iteration of the Switch, I'll need another one of those. So I'm here for it. But I've never been into the Xenoblade games. I think the last one I played was on the Wii. I think that
we
was
talked about this.
I think that was the only one I ever played.
And I'm with you. So I played that game, but the 3DS XL version.
Yeah.
And I didn't beat it. And I heard that it definitely ran better on the Wii, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah. So the release date on that is what?
July 29th.
Okay. So
right around the corner.
Little over a month away. I mean, Nintendo seems to be just keep knocking out more and more first party, exclusive games. So
now my question for you, we have been waiting forever for Direct. There's no way this is the Direct, right? So I know we kind of chatted about this before going live, and my guess is we're definitely going to see another Direct closer to the launch of Splatoon 3. And I'm pretty sure it'll be structured just like this one, where they really go in depth on the games or the game itself. But do you think there's going to be another Direct in between this one and that one that's kind of showcasing upcoming games? What are your thoughts on that?
We're only a little over 2 months away from Splatoon 3, right? Like it's September. In that game, we're going to have to play on stream for sure.
Oh, yeah. I love the game. Well, the first two.
Yeah, and I have to get whatever amiibo come out for it because I have all the other ones at this point.
Nice.
For Splatoon. So that's the other thing Nintendo gets me on those stupid amiibo that do nothing but sit in a glass case behind me. But I mean, we have to get a Direct, right? Like I think you're right. I think I want a Direct for Splatoon, but I also want them to do something. I want them to one up themselves here.
Right.
I want them to tell us how Splatoon is going to fit into the esports realm.
Ooh.
I want it balanced. I want there to be I want Nintendo to finally take a dive into the esports realm and give a competitive game other than Mario Kart or Smash. Like I want them to just dive into that in Splatoon. I really want to see that.
I'm with you. I'm not sure if you remember this, but maybe it was like the first reveal of the Switch itself, and they had like people in like those esports jerseys all sitting in a circle pulling out their Switches. I could be wrong, but I believe some image like this, but they were literally playing Splatoon 2. Like it seemed like Nintendo wanted that and just never really capitalized on it. And
I mean, there was a world championship,
right? So
and you could in Splatoon 2 you could get the world championship T-shirt.
Oh, nice!
Like in the game,
right? I didn't know that.
It still just didn't I don't know. It didn't hit as well as what I want there to be a huge community playing this game.
Yeah.
And I want it to be like on Twitch where you're like, oh man, they're all playing, and you're like,
yeah,
there's hype about it. Like there is with Smash. Like there's just not enough hype with Splatoon. And for those that haven't seen any videos on Splatoon, where have you been?
Right. It's so unique, such a unique game.
And I think that's what is fun for me. It's just so different. It's just a different kind of game. Like we don't see, yes, you can kill your opponents, but the main focus is to cover as much ground as possible, right?
Yep, exactly.
So I'm interested to see what they can do differently here to make it
fresh again.
Make it fresh because it's the first one was super cool. I had a lot of fun with 2. I didn't play 2 as much as I played the first one, but I'm really looking forward to 3.
Yeah, I can honestly say I think I spent more time with 2, and it was actually because of my kids. So initially there was one Switch in the house, and then I had the game, And then it got to the point to where we had multiple accounts on my one Switch. And I just noticed that my daughter Addison and my son Brian, they were taking turns playing Splatoon 2. So then, as time passed and we all gradually ended up getting our own Switches, the first game that we would get was Splatoon 2. And so we would link up together. And man, we have wasted Saturdays, like the three of us, just matchmaking and going.
The one of my kids that would be super into that game would be Parker, and he was a baby when that came out.
Right. So hey, here we go.
So
Part 3.
Now we're at we're at a situation where 3 is going to be his. I think it's going to be his game of choice.
Nice.
Because right now he's really into Turtles. Like he loved playing that last night. He begged to play it again today. Obviously we were recording the show, so we couldn't get in a session tonight. But there's another game that he was super into, and that's Fall Guys. And that's going free to play on everything, right?
Yeah. And cross progression, and I think cross play. I believe.
I wonder how they're going to decide which thing to go with.
So
I've played it on different things. So
yeah, so I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but the developer was acquired by Epic. So thanks to that, as long as you have an Epic login, and everyone does since you've played Fortnite at least once.
Yeah.
If that's linked to whatever console you have, you're set. So it seemed pretty easy. Like I haven't actually played it on Switch yet, but I installed it and like launched it, and it definitely picked up everything that I've unlocked on PlayStation. Because of my Epic. I want to say Epic ID, but I'm pretty sure that's not what it's called.
Yeah,
whatever my profile is for through Epic Games, that's tethered to my Xbox, my PlayStation, Switch, and my PC. It goes wherever I go. Thanks to all the things being together.
Yeah, I think that game is a blast.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
And Parker played a ton of that when it first came out. Like we were playing it on because it was free on PlayStation.
Yeah, I think Plus, as long as you have PlayStation
like Plus member. Yeah. And then I think I wound up buying it on PC. We were playing it so much.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a wonderful game. That's something I would love to stream as well in the future.
Yeah, that would be a fun one. There's also been confirmation that they're going to have a level editor.
Oh man,
where like we'll be able to create our own levels, and that I think to me that's the most fun. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how much I'll do it, but like depends on how easy it is to build, right?
Right.
Like I love Mario Maker 2, but I don't do a lot of the level building because to me it's too time consuming.
Right, but you play a lot of the created levels.
I play a ton of created levels, so I'll be really interested to see how this game will work with people that create their own levels, and they have to make it to where you have to be able to physically complete the level,
right,
in order for it to be uploaded to the server.
Yeah, that was one thing I did like about Mario Maker. You can make a ridiculous level, but as long as it was something
you have to
get
beat
through.
It. Yeah, exactly. You have to beat your crazy level, or they won't let you put it up there.
Yeah, so as long as they do the same thing, I'm with it.
So if Fall Guys does something like that, I think it'll be really, really fun.
Yeah, I agree. Like imagine putting up like a private lobby, you and your buddies just picking all these,
crazy levels
and just having a ball.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to do something that like, cause they do have that soccer mini game in there.
Yeah.
Remember that? So I think it would be fun to actually do like something similar to that, but put a bunch of the tackling dummies like out on the field. Like, so if you bump into them, it knocks you over, and then, like there be hole, like, because they've got some of the levels where if you walk over a square or whatever, it drops out. I think that would be really, really fun to do. Like you have to try to score the ball on the other goal, but the level will drop out underneath you if you've already touched that square.
Yeah, that's actually
like
really good
if
idea.
you can do some kind of crazy stuff like that, I'll probably be all in.
I'm pretty sure you'll definitely be able to do that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Nice.
But I mean that game's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll definitely have to stream that. Is one of our future games. Obviously, we've got a ton of things like on the horizon that we want to play. We talked a little bit about Gotham Knights on the last show. There's an interview on GameInformer.com that just released day before yesterday, actually. If you're interested in the Gotham Knights game, be sure to check that interview out. They have the trailer for Nightwing up as well on the top of that interview, and it's super. I'm pretty excited about this game. For whatever reason, I'm a big DC fan when it comes to games. And then I have a better appreciation of like Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But the DC games, like I've really, really loved. I loved the Batman series. Since the combat's going to be same to the Batman Arkham games, I think I'm really going to be interested in this.
Also, I'm sorry, I hate to cut you off. If you haven't finished, what's the most recent? Is it Batman Arkham Knight?
Yes.
No, wait, that's this one, right? Sorry.
No, this is Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights. So is it Batman Arkham Knight?
Arkham Knight was Arkham Knight was the last one.
Make sure you have finished that game before you start this one, or I don't know. Well, long story short, there's a spoiler like at the very beginning of this game based on what I read in the article. So it didn't spoil it for me because I've beaten it. But if you haven't beaten it, be careful on this Game Informer article, and also be careful just starting the game. There's a pretty dramatic ending to the last game. So it all makes sense, obviously, based on what's going on in this one.
Well, based on Batman not being in this one.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! The game's been out long enough that if you haven't beaten it yet, you're spoiled. Yeah. So, I mean, I think when they said, "Hey, it's going to be a Gotham game and there's no Batman," everybody kind of
Hey, you never know. Maybe he's
maybe he went away
in
to
space with Superman
or something. Like he's in a different multiverse. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
he's on vacation with Catwoman.
Ooh, that could actually be true because we haven't seen Huntress in the game yet, right?
Yeah.
Like so, maybe maybe we get a little Bat baby.
Here we go.
Somewhere along the lines, and we get some Huntress going on. I'd be okay with that. That would be really fun to me, actually.
Definitely.
Since Birds of Prey is still my favorite series on DC.
Nice.
So,
did you like the movie?
Yeah, I really liked there was a CW show back in the day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and I actually have it all on DVD, and it's super old. Like it was one of the first CW superhero shows.
Yeah. And
it only lasted like a season or two, but I thought it was really well done, but it was before its time.
Gotcha.
Now it's like if they released that now, it would have like 20 seasons because people would be like, "Oh, it's so good!" Like it was better than Arrow to me.
Nice, Arrow's a good one.
And I thought that it just was way before its time, but yeah. So you're interested in the new Marvel game, right? Like,
yeah, I feel like these two games are going to be. I don't want to say similar, but I think there's like hype around both, but then there's also disappointment around both just based on what everyone's seen. So my fingers are crossed that both of these games are going to surprise us and they're both going to be pretty neat in their own special ways. The thing that I like the most about Midnight Suns, based on what was shown off, it seems like it's going to have like a Mass Effect kind of a feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So in between missions, your character, which is a created hero, just for the story, he or she will like interact with the Marvel heroes. So like you can have a conversation with like Doctor Strange, and that could cue a side quest that you would do for Doctor Strange, and in turn kind of establish a relationship with that individual in the game to make combat easier when you're with that person. And if you've played Mass Effect, you know how important that stuff is. So I'm really looking forward to, really digging into what this game has to offer.
Yeah, I think it looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. I think your main reason for being excited, though, if we're going to be completely honest with ourselves right here, is it has Wolverine in it.
I mean, come on. He's my favorite superhero.
Well, that's it. Like,
Oh my
so
God, dude. Take my money.
like, you. As soon as they show Wolverine, you're like, shut up
I'm
and
gonna
take
be
my money,
that
please.
I'm gonna be that idiot where like, hey, this mission does not make sense to bring Wolverine with you, and I'm gonna bring him and I'm gonna figure it out.
Well, that's how I
Yeah.
was with Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yep.
Like, there were certain people that I was like, nope, they're coming with me. It doesn't matter if they fit in this piece of the story or not. You're coming. Let's go.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah, so I get it. Totally get it. So, yeah, I definitely think there's something to be said about like that game catching people's attention and really, really showing off like what they can do with that Marvel universe.
Right.
So we'll see if that holds out and people are as excited after the release. So, all right. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back here in just a minute to talk about our must-play games of 2022 so far, and then some stuff that's coming out that we're really looking forward to. So sit tight. We'll be right back here on the OGs. All right.
Real quick.
Yep.
Let's do a little cheesy commercial.
Cheesy commercial. Rogue Energy. Rogue
Energy.
Brian's drinking that Rogue Energy.
This is the hydration pack.
Is
dragon
it
fruit?
Dragon fruit. You dig in the dragon fruit?
Mango. But yeah, this is just hydration. I've been on a water kick lately, so I thought this might help out with that as well. And it's really good, very delicious, very easy to make. Definitely recommend it.
You can use the code Delusion Group to save 10% on anything at Rogue Energy. So rogueenergy.com, the code Delusion Group. Make sure you go and hit them up.
And shipping is really fast. I forgot exactly what day I placed the order, but it came like 3 days later, and it shipped USPS. Most things that ship USPS don't show up in 3 days.
Well, my luck
doesn't show up in 3 days.
We could order it the same day. You'd get it, and then I'll get it a week later.
That's also true.
We've had that happen. But yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. We are out right now. We're gonna have to order some here at the house. We're literally out of all of it. We did not expect to go through it as quickly as we did, so we'll be ordering some more here soon. But all right, Brian. So we tasked each other with the goal of coming up with 2 games each for this week's show that are must play of 2022 so far. What did you come up with?
So my first answer, I don't want to say it's a cop out, because every list you're going to Google, every influencer that you watch or listen to, they're going to mention this game. And unfortunately, I'm the guy that's also going to mention this game. Elden Ring is a must play. If you enjoy like open worlds, exploration, you enjoy challenges, it's just an amazing game. And I'm not someone that plays every single Souls-like. Like, I've dabbled, but I've never gotten hooked the way I got hooked with Elden Ring. I've only completed 1 playthrough. I haven't started a new game plus or anything like that, but that single playthrough is honestly one of the most memorable experiences I've had all year in gaming, and probably within the past couple of years. There's just so much stuff that you see in this game and do in this game that's just like just jaw dropping. It's fantastic. You've probably heard everything I've said just now from someone else, and I apologize for that. But the game is just so damn good. The other one,
know that I'll ever play. I don't know that I'll ever play that.
And I can understand that.
Like I literally get scared when I hear 80 hours to play through. Like I go, I don't have 80 hours to play through. So why would I even attempt to play through that game without having that amount of time?
Right.
So for me, it never even, like, I've gone back and forth. Like, should I do it? Should I not? It's not been on sale, dude. It legitimately has not been on sale on PlayStation Network or Xbox. And I've looked every single week.
I'll keep my eye out.
Like, I will not pay full price for that game.
Because you're not sure about it, which is
I'm super not sure about it, right? Like I'm like, no. Yeah. I may get 10 hours into that game total and then be like, yeah, it's just not for me. Because like currently I think it's not for me. Right. So there's no way I'm gonna drop $70.
Yeah.
To play it.
So I can tell you everything you're saying I said. I even told myself I wasn't gonna play it. Because at the time, Sifu was out, and then I think Horizon Forbidden
Which I
West
still
was
have
out.
yet to finish.
Same here. And I feel bad for Horizon because it kind of just released that at a bad time. There's nothing wrong with that game at all, but for some reason, Elden Ring just pulled me in. And when I finished it, I didn't just go straight to Horizon. I started just dabbling into like smaller indie games or multiplayer games. So I feel bad that Horizon hasn't gotten the time that it deserves, and maybe I'll try to make sure I get through before the year ends. But dude, like it was crazy. So like, we're adults. You have time that you set aside to play video games.
Yeah, like I'm up until whatever time until my eyes go. And right. I'm like shaking and falling asleep, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the only time I really get in.
Yeah. But you know that you have so much
when I get up.
See, that I haven't done yet.
Dude, I should be getting ready for work on a fairly regular basis and I'm playing something.
But what I'm trying to say is like, so like I used to set, time aside to play games, and I would try to make sure I would juggle, hey, I'll play a couple hours of this today, and then in 3 days when I get back on, instead of playing that, I'll play this, and I'll, just kind of go back and forth. That didn't happen with Elden Ring. Like once I officially got hooked, every chance I had to play games, I would play that until I just got through it. And that sounds so simple and like logical for anyone that wants to just beat anything. But how time is, and everyone, well, not everyone, like my attention span, like I'm drawn to everything at all, or all at once. Sorry, I couldn't get that.
That's that's why we have that issue. Like we've talked about the show, like how we wanted to lay out the format of our podcast, even, and we were like, well, we could talk about this, we could talk about this, we could talk about this. And we were like, and then the show will be 6 hours long each week for everybody to enjoy. No, that's the same. So Horizon Zero Dawn, the original Horizon game, released February 28th of 2017.
Yep.
What game released the following week?
Breath of the Wild.
Remember? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I definitely remember.
So we were all working at GameStop at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and I both, and then a bunch of our friends, right? And we were all like, we got to finish Horizon before Zelda comes out because we're not going to play anything else.
Yep.
Horizon Forbidden West came out when? Like that was...
It was also in February, I think, or late January. I should actually know this because I was still
well, no, it's cool. February 18th.
There we go. But what came out a week after?
And then,
or a week or 2 weeks after, maybe.
Elden Ring release date was February 25th. It was a week later.
Oof.
Horizon has legitimately been, for lack of a better term, other games, bitch.
Man, and it's so sad
releasing because it's such a good series.
Yeah, they're great games.
I love Aloy. I have pop figures of those characters behind me. Yep. They're the only pop figures that haven't migrated to my oldest's room at this point because he's like, I'll never play that game. which is fine. It's not his thing.
Right.
But both of those games got swept under the rug by two of what, like, critics would say, two of the best games of all time.
Most definitely.
So, like, yet again, Horizon takes the bump from Elden Ring.
Yeah,
but
it's,
I mean,
it's a shame. But hey,
yeah, you're definitely on the Elden Ring train with every other person that has played that game. So yeah, but that's one of your games for 2022 that you feel like is a must play. What is your other one?
So I won't spend too much time on it because we're probably gonna go back and forth on this. But TMNT, Shredder's Revenge.
I mean, we can spend
That's
all
all
the
I'll
time
say
you
for
want
now.
to spend on it, because that is also one of my two. I'm always looking for a game I can play with the kids. That, I mean, this game's violent, right? Like, it has that cartoon violence in it, but it's not bloody. It's not like, it's not too over the top. Like, there's still some fun to be had.
Yes.
And it's just very, very well done.
Yes.
I'll say that the creators of this game were obvious fans of the original arcade version of that game. Like,
oh yeah.
So I'll let you kind of wax poetic on how you feel about it, because I have all kinds of things to say.
No, you're nailing it, man. You can tell it's like a love letter to the arcade games from when we were little. Like, this dev team, I'm sorry, I didn't look up the name of the team, but they did a wonderful job with this. It feels like a beat 'em up that you've played before, but they've added fresh and new things to it to kind of set it apart. So, like, the combos are super easy to pull off, but if you want to get crazy and you want to juggle, you can. And then they have a dodge mechanic as well. So when you're either about to get attacked or you can recover from getting attacked. And I can't think of any beat 'em up brawlers that has something like that, at least a side scrolling one.
So the irony in this with the developer name, it's Tribute Games. Like,
wow.
it truly is a tribute to the original arcade game.
Definitely. But yeah, like, the sprite work is just great. The music's great. If you guys like Mega Ran, he has a song on there.
So good.
Freaking Raekwon and Ghostface Killer have a song. Like, what more do you want? What more do you need?
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 players, like, it's couch co-op, there's online, and all that works.
Unlockable characters.
Yeah,
like,
I can definitely confirm one. I'm not sure there's others.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it, but I mean, one of the main pictures that keeps popping up online spoils it.
That's true.
But there's a character you can't play as originally when you first boot up the game, but once you beat it, you unlock that character.
Yeah.
Which won't be hard for people to figure out.
Yep. And there's a bunch of secrets. Well, not a bunch of secrets, but there's a bunch of collectibles littered throughout the levels. Kind of give you a reason to go back. I like the challenges too in the story mode for each level. There's a couple
I don't think I've
challenges.
completed any of the challenges at this point. Some of them are like finish the whole level without any damage.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I've yet to do that yet.
I'm like, okay.
Like, all right, sure.
So we thought about it last night when we were playing with the kids, like having one of us stand away and just try to jump and stay away from everything, like all the battles, and let the other two fight and see if we could unlock the challenge that way.
It's actually not a bad idea.
But I wonder if that would be easier to do with the 6 players, since you can play 6. So I think we may try to do a level like that at some point and just see if it works. But I agree with you. I think it's one of the cleanest old school looking games out there. Like, it doesn't look pretty. Like, it's definitely meant to look like that 1628-bit, however you want to put it, like
a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis game.
Yeah,
right. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's definitely a pixely game, but they've put so much love into the level building. Like, the bosses, like
man,
at the
the
end of
bosses are
each level,
fun.
like I legitimately got excited. Like
When you
I
see
don't,
them,
yeah,
you
like I
recognize a
don't,
bunch of them.
yeah, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Like I'm trying
Right.
to keep this as spoiler free as possible. But there are legitimately bosses that when I saw them, I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about that
Yeah,
character.
exactly. Same. I think
And
you said there were 7 different endings
yes, so
and
if you
like a
complete the
single.
story mode, it says 7 different endings.
Nice.
And there's an achievement for earning all 7 endings.
Yeah. Honestly, I would say I didn't really time myself, but you can probably beat it in like 2 hours.
So my average level time has been a little over 5 minutes.
Sounds about right.
And we ended last night on level 11.
Okay, cool. And
That's where we stopped.
Is it 16 stages?
I think so.
Okay.
So. I don't remember off the top of my head. I remember seeing it at some point, but we stopped at 11 and the kids were like, oh, do we really have to stop? And I'm like, yeah, it's like 10:30. Like y'all need to wrap it up.
Ryan,
and then they
we
were
might
like,
have to trade kids, man, because
they were adamant
it was the exact opposite for me.
They were adamant about wanting to play again today.
That's awesome.
And they tried to sneak it and play without me. But without my controller, they can't get onto my Xbox Series X.
Got you.
Because they need that specific controller to log in.
That's actually pretty clever.
So they weren't able to continue it without me. But I think we're going to play some more tomorrow night for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know that there's a better side-scrolling game out there right now. And maybe I changed my mind with Rogue Legacy when I play that. Like that may get me into that point, but I'm not 100% sure that is even gonna knock.
Rogue Legacy it's fun, but it's a different vibe. Like that's something you're gonna play by yourself, you know. This Turtles game, even if you like are by yourself, you can just hop into a random person's game and there's no voice chat or anything like that, at least that I noticed. So you won't have to worry about, someone coming at you some type of way. Or you could just create a lobby yourself and people can kind of hop in and hop out as you go along. But yeah, once again, you can just play by yourself too, but it's so much better with others. And they've added like a revive mechanic. So like if someone goes down, you go over and hold like the L trigger, and your character will like hover a slice of pizza over the person's face to give them their health back. And it's just really funny and clever. You can tell they really thought about like all the different animations. It doesn't seem like they just have a traditional punch or kick. Every single character has their own like chain of animations and combos. There's also a button to press to like charge your like your special meter, and every character does something to kind of show that they're charging up or whatever. And it's very cute and clever that each of them do something different, and it makes sense to what the character would do. Like Donatello like hunches over and he's playing like a Game Boy for a hot second, and I almost just spoiled one of the characters, but yeah. But yeah, they all do something kind of like unique and clever, to that character's personality. So it's just a wonderful game. It's not expensive either. It's like what, $25 or something.
Yeah, and it's on sale still for what, $22.49. You get 10% off.
There it is.
It's on Game Pass for Xbox and PC.
So if you have that membership, you're good to go. You just download it and play it.
And we're gonna find out here right on the show if it is cross progression from Xbox to PC.
Oh.
I'm gonna look right now because
cool.
I don't know if it is or not.
Right, fingers crossed.
But I'm hopeful that it is, because it's something that, like, if I can just pop it in and play it on my PC, then
right,
like I can pop over and play, and I'm right there into it. All right, well, I guess I can't do it. No. I get a game services exe system error. The system detected an overrun of a stack-based buffer in this application. This overrun could potentially allow a malicious user to gain control of the application.
Okay, so yeah, we're not gonna do that.
We're gonna uninstall that, and I'll reinstall it again and see if that fixes it later. But yeah, hopefully it's not a problem. But I think you're spot on. I think it's probably one of the best games of the year. It will not be in Game of the Year conversations. It just won't.
Right.
Should it be in Family Game of the Year conversation? I'm going to say most definitely. I think the multiplayer aspect of it should put it right there. And it may not. Like they may just get overlooked given the time of release because it's in the middle of the year. It's so early on.
Right.
We may not get that. It may not get that consideration, but Tribute Games definitely put it together.
Yes, kudos
on this one. So definitely an interesting one. So my second game that I feel like everybody should be playing. I mean, I don't know, man. I really kind of struggled with it because I'm like, I could say this and there's going to be people that are going to be like, really? God of War on PC. If you don't have a PS4 or didn't play it on PS4, don't have a PS5 to play this version, God of War on PC is so good story-wise. It's such a great single-player, story-driven game that I think you have to play it if you have a PC and you like single-player games. I know you worked for Sony like when it released, so there's some I'm sure you'll have a lot to say about this one, but I think they keep just shocking me when they bring games over that were clean and good on PS4 to PC and that they're better. Because I remember playing it on PS4 and being like, damn, this looks so good. Yeah. Like it's so good. And then I play it on PC and I'm like, it's legitimately better on PC. It really is. And I don't have a super hefty PC. Right? Like I couldn't imagine if it was like a big time, like if I had a huge gaming PC, I couldn't imagine how it would look then. Because it would look really, really good, I'm sure. Okay, reinstalling Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did work.
Nice. Wait, while you're doing that, I'll talk about God of War 2 for a little bit. I haven't played it on PC, but yeah, just the game in general. I think we've said one of the best games ever made a couple of times tonight. So I don't want the viewers to think that we just throw this around lightly. But yeah, God of War the God of War 2018. Was one of the best games ever made. Like hands down. The story is phenomenal. You don't have to have played the other God of War games to play this one, but it will definitely enhance the story. If you're a father, I think this game is a must play since we just passed up Father's Day. But yeah, the mechanics are just so good. Visuals are stunning. The game is emotional in ways I would have never expected a game to hit. I don't know. It hits. It tugs on certain strings I would never expect the game to do so. And do it like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like do it with class, I guess. But yeah, if you haven't played it,
yeah, there's definitely father-son moments in it that that you aren't going to get anywhere else.
Most definitely. It is
the only other PlayStation game I would say that ever caught me like that would be the opening in The Last of Us.
Oh man, yeah.
If you did not cry as a dad when in the first 10 minutes of that game, you have no soul. Like,
man, I can't wait to see how that's going to be retold in the HBO show.
Yeah,
that's going to be neat.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you're right. Like it's so good.
I just wanted to let people know, if you don't already own God of War and you have a PlayStation, if you have PlayStation Plus, it is one of the free games that they give out this month. And June is just about over, so make sure you add that to your library if you have PlayStation.
Look at you standing for PlayStation still.
Hey, we've been talking about Game Pass. Game Pass is a
No,
great
I
service.
get it.
PlayStation Plus has some hitters too.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I need it. Appreciate that.
It's one of the first things that I do every month when they announce the next ones, right? Like,
yep.
I'm like, okay, did I get last month's? Like, I go back and I check. Because I don't want to miss out on any of the freebies, because free 99 is my favorite price for a game.
Come on.
But so, I mean, between Elden Ring, Turtles, and God of War, I think you got 3 of the best games of this year. And again, God of War won't get any consideration for Game of the Year because it's just a PC remake. But we're going to see another one of those here really, really soon. And that's Spider-Man.
Now, this one I'm probably going to play over. I'm going to play this one again. I love the Spider-Man game.
That's coming out August 12th.
Nice.
For PC. That's going to be one that, like, it's going to have to be in the conversation to be one of those games that has to be played if you haven't played it yet.
Yep, exactly.
You know, and I think that maybe we get that from the Last of Us Part 1 remaster in September.
Man, oh my gosh, that's another one. Oh, must play.
Again, I brought that up because, like I said earlier, like that the first 10 minutes of that game, I was a wreck. I had to stop playing. Like, I remember very vividly, like, calling one of our friends actually and saying, "Have you played this yet?" I want to say I called Devin right away. Like, that was who I called.
Nice.
And was just like, "Have you played this yet?" like
were you? I wasn't expecting this.
Like, I can't. Like, I don't know that I can, because we had gotten to play a portion of that game at a manager's meeting.
Yep. Shout out to Sherry.
At the Coleraine store across from the Northgate Mall. Shout out to Jerome and his crew there.
J-Room.
They're still holding it down for everybody out there. I know he'll never see this because he's not on social media, but shout out to Jerome anyway.
He's a very classy individual, so he avoids this stuff.
Good dude. Good
on him.
But I remember playing that and being like, man, this game's going to be sick. I can't wait to play it. And then literally playing the first 10 minutes and being like, I don't know that I can play this game anymore.
Man.
Like,
it
it just hit me to the point where I was like, please tell me you've played past the first 15 minutes or so I know whether I can continue to play this game. Because I can't do that multiple times in this game. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody, because I'm sure there are people that haven't played that game that are looking forward to it in September.
And it's just, oh man.
Yeah.
Did you play part 2?
No.
Really?
I have it, but I've never dove into it. I never finished 1. So I
really?
Yes. So
just hold out until September.
I was really close to finishing 1. And then something else, like, as always, when we were, I actually had somebody tell me this the other day. When I worked for GameStop, it ruined me as a gamer. And it's an interesting concept, actually, because I think it might be kind of true. So we were so worried about what the next game was that was coming out and being able to tell people about that next game that was coming out that we never really finished all the games that we should have.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, our opinions really affected sales.
Yeah,
that was important for us, being managers at the time.
So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think he was right, because there were some games that I probably should have finished that I never did.
Yeah.
And that it is what it is. Looking back at it now, I'm like, oh, I really should have finished that, or I really wish I had finished that. But I think that overall, like, I missed out on a number of really good games and completing some really good games because we didn't have the time to do it. Like, we wanted to make sure that we knew the next best thing that was coming out. because our livelihood kind of depended on that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
That was one that I just never finished.
Well, luckily, Ryan, September 2nd, you'll be playing Last of Us Part 1 on your PS5.
But then I have to buy it again.
I mean, or you could probably just play whatever copy you have now. But come on,
man.
You know you.
I mean, I'll probably do the remaster. I'm gonna be very limited to what I buy this coming, like over this holiday season in particular. Because I know we're gonna have. Well, so I know I'll buy Madden, and I'll buy it on PS5 this year first.
Yay!
So we can play. And then I'll buy it on sale on Black Friday for Xbox, like I do every year, on the secondary console, because I always buy that for both.
Gotcha.
Which I should stop doing that. I actually got it on PC this year too.
Really?
Yeah, but EA gave me a free copy on PC. I should throw that out there.
Okay.
Like, shout out to them. They gave me that. Because they knew I was going to be doing some of that content creation stuff, and then I didn't get as much of it done as I wanted to.
Gotcha.
I did some videos for them and sent them over, and then they used some clips and then didn't use others. So
that's cool though.
But I just didn't have enough time to really get really good at it.
Yeah.
But I buy it on everything usually. So I mean, for them to give me a copy is pretty sweet because they knew I was going to buy it on anything anyway. Then I'll have FIFA for sure. For me, those are definites every time. Overwatch is going to be free to play, right?
Yep. I'm not sure how they're going to. I mean,
I know how they're going to do it. It's going to be loot chests and stuff. Like,
well, so they said that they're not doing loot boxes this year, or not this year, but this time around. I think they're probably going to do season
different stuff. They're going to have
a battle pass. I think is what they're going to do.
Which is fine.
Like, what about the actual heroes themselves? Are they free, or do you have to buy them?
I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm all in though. Like I don't play anymore, unfortunately, but dude,
yeah,
like
I can definitely see digging into that for a bit.
Oh yeah,
and then I know I'll get Gotham Knights.
Mm-hmm.
And then the greatest Call of Duty of all time is being remade.
Come on.
So I have to I have thousands of hours into Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, that was like one of the first games that I bought on two. Like I had it for PS3 and 360.
Yeah.
And that's not something I did often back then, especially, what year was that? Was that like in college or something? I don't even know what year.
I'll look it up, but I don't remember exactly when it was, like date wise. I know I was working at the softball complex because
2009.
Yeah, so the only reason I remember that, let's see, so I was working at the softball complex and I was laid off during the winters.
Got you.
So like I played that game all the time. So like that was when that summer or that holiday season was when I went back to GameStop again.
You know what? I gotta take back my statement. For me, it was Modern Warfare that I bought twice.
Call of Duty 4.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, Modern Warfare 2 is definitely a classic.
Yeah, I think Modern Warfare 2 is the one I put the most time in.
That's a good one.
But I'm also questioning, like, is Sonic Frontiers going to come out in this year? Or am I going to have to wait?
So I think they said it's coming this year. I don't think they have an exact date yet.
Well, they said Q4 2022.
That's exactly what I was going to elaborate on. When you hear that Q4, that could be January, February, March, and then depending on the company, even April, So
yeah. Fiscal year Q4 2022 runs well into 23.
If they're smart, though, they need to have this out in the holiday because Sonic appeals to kids. You know what I mean? So that's going to be on like Christmas lists and stuff like that.
And it looks super cool as we showed off on the last show.
Yeah, it does look neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna have to it's gonna have to be on my list, like of things that I have to play. I can't get all of them at full price, and I won't. But like, there's quite a few that I think are gonna have to be on my must play this.
Yeah,
this
I'm
year.
really I'm hoping that Forspoken actually shows up and is actually good. It looks really neat, and could be wrong, but I think Gary Whitta and Amy Hennig are like involved in the story.
Really,
they're two great writers.
If
the
you
scary
don't
thing
know
is that
who
it's Square
Gary
Enix.
Whitta is, like, you're missing out because that guy is everywhere.
Yes, he is.
Book
of Eli.
Yeah,
I think he wrote that.
He wrote Book of Eli, After Earth, with M. Night Shyamalan.
The Will Smith movie. He did that.
I
didn't know that.
He co-developed the story for Rogue One.
Yeah, and that's like
and
my favorite Star Wars
he is one
movie.
of the writers and story team lead in Forspoken.
There we go.
And he's also on the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show on Wednesdays for Widow Wednesdays. We're both fans of that show, so
yes.
Shout out to them because, like, in all seriousness, Greg, Tim, Blessing. I mean, we can name all of them. I guess Andy, Gary, all of y'all. Like, you're one of the reasons why we do the show that we do.
Yeah.
And we appreciate it and we enjoy your show. So, shout out to you guys. If you ever hear this, I'll be freaking amazed. But between that show and then the What's Good Games podcast with Andrea Renee, Brittany, and all the guests that she brings on, Rihanna Manuel and I have gone back and forth on Twitter
awesome.
over the last few days because she stepped away from G4, and I hope she finds something that really speaks to her and she can move forward with stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, and Paris and Snowbike Mike and Gary's also on the XCast, the Xbox show that they have. So, I mean, he does all kinds of stuff, but Amy Hennig, that's working with Gary on that, was part of the Uncharted series, right?
Yep.
So, story, if you're looking for a story-driven game, you might have two of the best writers in gaming working on that game together.
Yeah. Yep. The only thing I'm nervous about is that it's Square Enix. They are hit or miss.
I will give you that because the Marvel Avengers game was a big miss for me.
But then Guardians, did you play Guardians?
Yeah, it was the biggest surprise game for me last year.
Yeah, dude. It has so much heart. Did not expect that at all.
Well, so the 10 minutes of Last of Us, I had a very similar experience with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, man. Wasn't expecting that.
When the mom comes in to the room with the mixtape, so it's weird because it's the same company and it's two totally different feelings.
Yep.
Both in the Marvel universe too.
Yep.
So you
just
yeah. And Square has so many IPs that they have done well with over the years, and then you have some that you're just like, okay, where are they going to go with this?
Right.
Final Fantasy is just we're on number 16.
Yep. Those are also. I'm sorry if I'm attacking Final Fantasy fans, but I feel like sometimes those are also hit or miss.
That's they're talking that 16 may need to be a mature rated game.
I'm here for that.
I said, I've said that too. Like, if you need to tell the story to the people that are playing this game and it's got to be mature, have at it.
Exactly.
But Forspoken has me really, really interested to see where they go with it. But I don't know that we get that this year.
Really? They've already delayed it. I think once or twice. I think this is it.
I know. I know. I just wonder if it's one of those games that we get like, hey, we want to make sure this is perfect for you. It's a new IP. We don't want to miss anything here. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong.
Me too. Me too.
for those that want to play it, but I also feel like it could be one of those that we don't see this year.
Anything's
right
possible.
Now it's October 11th, right? That's the scheduled release date for that. I also question if Sony says, "Hey, we're releasing God of War Ragnarok in that general time frame."
And
if Square Enix goes, "Okay, you guys can have that. We're gonna push."
You know what's so weird about that? Like Sony typically tries, like they try to stay out of like that holiday season, like time, or like the October, November, December. And so I thought God of War was coming September, but we got Last of Us Part 1 coming September. So is God of War really coming this year?
If God of War comes this year, there are more PS5s available than what we know.
Did you get that link I sent you for Tay earlier?
Yeah, and I sent it to him.
Did he try?
Yeah, he tried. He didn't get it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like that's still a trick, right? Like PS5s are hard to come by. If they're holding out till the holiday and they're really going to push for God of War at holiday, that would be a way to do it.
I could be wrong, but I thought it was already confirmed for PS4. Right?
It is coming out for both.
So yeah, like at that point, unless they are really, I mean, like you're saying, unless they wanted to break a PS5 sales record, then yeah, I could see them holding out. But if they just want to break a sales record where they're just talking units sold, I think they're in a good spot right now. You know what I mean? Because people still play their PS4s. But if they're looking to like brag that this is the top selling or most units sold on a PS5, then yeah, you're right. They're probably going to wait a little bit longer to get more units in households. But
yeah, I just think that they're still so hard to come by.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That like, I don't know why they're releasing this game on PS4 other than the fact that they couldn't get enough PS5s in people's hands.
Yeah, it's numbers. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's my guess. It's like, hey, we are putting the sales expectations of God of War Ragnarok up against God of War 2018. God of War 2018 sold, I don't know, this many units between then and now. If we just put this on PS5 with this many PS5s out in the wild, there's no way we're going to break that record or exceed the sales expectations based on the last game. So in order to hit that number, they got to release it on PS4 and PS5. That's my guess.
19.5 million copies, by the way, is that number.
And they're what, maybe
just as of January of this year.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So 19.5 million. And then this is just a crazy stat to think of on Steam. 60,000 concurrent players of the PC version of that game.
Wow. That's
after
nuts.
Already selling 19.5 million of it originally.
So
I mean, there were people like me that played it twice. But
right.
I mean, I would guess the majority of those PC players weren't people playing it for the second time.
Yeah. So I don't know how accurate this number is, but I just Googled this. This is from Video Games Chronicle. 20 million PS5s have sold. But the issue with that is we know for a fact that a lot of these are just sitting because people are reselling PlayStation 5s.
Yeah.
So I really want to know what number is like active users. You know what I mean? Like how many people
I've intentionally not been greedy and gotten a second one.
Really? Don't judge me, but I have a second.
Well, yeah, but like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have an Xbox on almost every TV in the house.
Got you.
At this point.
Yeah, so like I have the one that was provided for work, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
Right next to me. But then I have a digital version in my living room.
Right. I have the digital
that one
version.
I purchased. The digital one I did purchase.
I have the digital one. I don't have the disc based. But that's behind me in the setup behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I want one for my desk so I don't have to pick it up and move it in order to stream with it. I can actually stream from over there too, but right now it just isn't conducive to sitting and streaming.
Definitely understand.
So I thought about getting a second one, but I don't want to be that guy because I don't really have a need for a second one. It wasn't a work thing or anything like that.
Right.
Like it would just be me being lazy and not wanting to pick it up and carry it to a different spot.
Sounds like you're judging me, Ryan. I don't appreciate it.
No, I'm just saying you got it for work. Like I
messing.
legitimately am like, I don't want to pick it up and carry it over from the entertainment center or the area over there to bring it over here. But I eventually will be doing it because there are going to be some games that I want to play on PlayStation that I want to stream and show off as we play different things. But
definitely.
But yeah, I can't believe that they've been so slow to get PS5s out in the wild. And I know there's a shortage, and I know it's something beyond their control to a certain extent. But like, I think at this point we should be beyond that point.
I do think so, but from what I'm hearing, man, it's wild out there.
Oh no, for sure. I mean,
I'm with you.
I legitimately am dealing with it every day at work.
Yeah.
Where there's shortages of other items, like
right.
You know, and I deal with clothing. You know, like you can't get socks.
Right.
Like they can't get the yarn to source the socks. It's just not available.
Yeah.
So it's
think about like food and stuff. Like grocery stores don't look the same either as of late. Yeah, things are a little different these days, man.
Yeah, it's definitely different. But
yeah,
I think like God of War Ragnarok, if it comes out around that same time as Forspoken, it could be a problem.
Definitely.
For Square Enix, I think that.
I mean,
I think it's the same player base.
I'm looking at October right now, and I don't know how accurate this list is, but I see Overwatch 2, I see Midnight Suns, I see Forspoken, I see Persona 5 Royal, and that's for PC and Xbox. And then I see Gotham Knights and then Call of Duty. None of those are heavy hitters except for Call of Duty. So you might be onto something. Like October, it looks like it makes sense for real.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it also like, do you want to put it in the mix with all those other games?
They could. I mean, think about and once again, it was a different time due to the pandemic, but like Ghost of Tsushima and then Last of Us Part 2 were like a month apart or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And I know initially Last of Us Part 2 was supposed to release, I think, in February, but ended up getting pushed off. But they had already solidified a date for Ghost of Tsushima, and so they just ran with it. Like they released like weeks apart, and I think they still did great numbers and got great reviews. So it seems like Sony isn't completely afraid to compete with themselves.
No, and I get that to a certain extent, but like I think they just have to be careful with this one.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I know that sounds a little bit out there, but I think when you're trying to find the perfect time to release this game that you thought was going to be your showcase piece for your PS5, but now it's also coming out on PS4 because you couldn't make it your showcase piece because not enough PS5s are out in people's hands.
And you could say the same thing about Horizon, man. Like that game is gorgeous. That's one of the best looking games. I'm sorry, Horizon Forbidden West, the new one. That's one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life. Like it's gorgeous. The attention to detail in that is something else.
I thought Sackboy's Big Adventure looked really good.
Yeah, he looks like a burlap sack with a zipper on his chest.
Yeah,
it actually looks like a sack.
He looks like little Sackboy right here.
Yeah, it looks just like that.
Looks just like that, and he runs like this, and he looks just like him. Like I'm not trying to brag about having a PS5, but they're like, it looks different.
Yeah,
like it just hits different.
It definitely does. And the load times.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot wait. I haven't played Ratchet yet. I haven't.
Oh,
I just like we talked about this before. I finally broke down and got it during the last sale.
Yeah.
That might be a game that we play this weekend because like after I beat Turtles, Ratchet and Clank is definitely one of those things that I want to bury myself into and play, but I want to have time to play it.
Right. Like honestly, yeah, like right now, if you're not playing like a single player game, It's the one I definitely recommend that you would
Yeah.
play, especially if you want to if you plan on doing The Last of Us in September,
Yeah.
or Spider-Man in August. I think it's something you.
Well, and I could go finish Spider-Man, and I haven't finished Miles Morales either.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah,
dude.
because I got wrapped up into it, and then we got into redoing some things back here, and the PlayStation got unplugged for a while and just sat.
Got you.
And then Gran Turismo came out, and then
Mhm.
like it just kept.
It's shorter than the other Spider-Man, so
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that makes you
that
feel
will.
any
I
better.
mean, yeah, the original Spider-Man was one of those games because it was so open world that I just messed around and just kept going swinging from building to building, and then I caught myself trying to find different things throughout New York City.
Yeah.
Like the Alexander Hamilton Memorial.
Is that in there?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like stuff is really where it is, like within the map.
I love
So
that.
I was going and trying to find different things, and I was like, holy crap, this is really in the game. Here it is. It's like, and then like I even got to the point where I was looking for different theater, like Broadway theaters, to see if they put them in the right spots.
Nice.
So that was why I never finished that game, because I would just go and do goofy things like that.
Right.
But yeah, I think that story-wise, I could bury myself in a couple of those games and be super excited. I'm hoping for your sake, Forspoken is going to be one that we get to play this November, because I know I won't play it in October. It'll have to be one that I play like when it starts to get cold outside and I'm not on the soccer fields at all.
Right.
But like definitely a winter game for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of games coming out this year still. I mean, Xbox showed off a bunch of stuff that's coming out within the next 12 months over the last couple of weeks with their showcase. I mean, there's obviously there's no shortage of games to play.
Exactly.
Even for those of you that think that there's no really good games out on Game Pass, there's some really good stuff out there. Take a chance to like look at it and see what's out there. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with some of the stuff that's out there. Neither one of us were expecting Turtles to be quite as good as it is, right?
Yep, I agree with you.
Were we hoping it was going to be good? Sure, but we weren't expecting it to be this good.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised.
So be sure to check out all those options. Always catch the freebies. There's some free games on Amazon for Prime Day right now. 25 games that they have out there.
Wow.
So be sure to go check that out. That's all PC. But they've always got some freebies. And for those of you that play FIFA, link your EA account to your Amazon Prime account and get the free Ultimate Team packs. That I never pay for Ultimate Team packs because it's just against my religion. But the freebies pop a good player every once in a while in a pack, so you can get some extra ones there. But do you have anything else before we wrap the show?
No, I think that's it, man. We covered everything. I had a wonderful time. Honestly, can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, so we'll have another show for you in 2 weeks' time. Brian, you're going on vacation, right? You're like going to do a real life vacation thing.
Yep, going to Florida with the family. Really looking forward to it. We're gonna hopefully go to Universal Studios. Other than that, gonna be at a beach. Gonna be in a pool. Gonna eat a bunch of barbecue.
Oh my god!
All the good things, man.
Sounds so good.
I'll probably come back darker and heavier. So look forward to that.
I mean, that's kind of the story of my life is coming back heavier. I am going to be on vacation as well in a week's time.
Nice. Okay.
We're taking a quick jaunt, it looks like, to North Carolina, to the University of North Carolina, to visit my sister and her husband and their kids, just over the 4th of July weekend.
Nice.
And then shooting back. But we will have a show for you in 2 weeks, the show that will release on the 8th of July. And then this coming week, we'll have some additional content for you. We're going to try to live stream, I'm guessing, some Turtles.
Why not?
Maybe. Let's play a little bit of Turtles and see if we can stream some of that. If you watched our previous live stream online of Fortnite, you saw us trying to mess around with some different mechanics to see if we could get it to work a certain way. We're going to continue to play with that concept, and
so bear with us.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions on ways that we can improve that or anything, feel free to reach out. You can find us at OGs Pod on Twitter. Our Instagram is...
Oh no, I don't have it up right now. I believe it's just
Party Foul. It's the OGs Pod.
Just the OGs Pod, I believe. Dang, I've dropped the ball. I wasn't prepped.
It's all good. I mean, it's late. Everybody knows we record this after the kids go to bed. So
that's true. But no, yeah, it's the OGs Pod. No underscores or anything. The OGs Pod.
The OGs Pod on Insta. So, you know, if you enjoy the show, be sure to give us a follow on social media. You can see right there at the bottom of the screen, the OGs Pod on Instagram and at OGs Pod on Twitter. We are raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital as well. And we will put those links out on our social media pages this week.
Yep, look out for those.
And I started it through my own personal Facebook page because they had reached out to me that way. But we've already started raising money for that. There's a play event going on where you play 60 minutes a week, and like that's the minimum. Obviously, we're killing that amount of time. But the kids at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital really appreciate those donations, and no family pays for anything at St. Jude while they're there because of donations from people like you and the support that you get through the Mathathon program, which is still a thing from I feel like we did that every year in school.
Man, yes, forever.
And then events like this. And we'll be doing a number of charity events over the course of time. We've got some other cool ones that we could possibly have here soon. But as we wrap the show, I want to thank everybody for watching, listening on their favorite social media platforms. Be sure to give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube and you enjoy the show. Hey, give us a thumbs up even if you don't. Let somebody else have a chance to see the show, because that algorithm really does matter, and it helps us. Every thumbs up helps us subscribe on YouTube to the Delusion Group YouTube channel. If you're listening to the podcast, you can find our YouTube at tinyurl.com/Delusion Group. That's part of the network of creators that we're a part of. And please support us on all forms of for podcast listeners. You can find it on any podcast service out there around the globe.
There you go. But yeah, so 2 things, like Ryan was saying, definitely support, show some love, but don't forget to share. I've noticed likes, I've noticed comments, but sharing goes a long way, because when our content hits your timeline, people usually trust you if they follow you. So if you really do like the content, show some love and share, help us out. And then the other thing, last week's episode, we announced that we were giving away 3 free games. We haven't done that yet because we had simple instructions to just leave a certain phrase in the comments.
It was hashtag Capcom Rocks.
Hashtag Capcom Rocks in the comments on YouTube. At this point, the first 3 people to do it, I feel like we'll get a code. So yeah, episode 1 or episode 2, if that works, Ryan.
Yep.
Hashtag Capcom Rocks.
As of right now, I win.
I'll just give them the codes.
Yeah. No. So again, we'll put it out there with the hashtag when we put out this show, so you can share it. We need your help sharing this show as much as possible. I know we're going to sound like a broken record here at the end, but please do share it. If you share the audio or the video, please tag us in it and let us know too. We really do appreciate that. And we may throw some additional cool stuff your way if you're sharing the show for us, because we've got some other stuff to give away down the pipeline.
Very true.
So, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we will catch you next time here on the OGs.
See ya.